His name was Aaron Malik, a 38-year-old single father with tired eyes and a posture shaped by years of carrying responsibility alone. Life had not gently nudged him into hardship, it had shoved him there after a sudden accident took his wife and left him raising a 6-year-old daughter with nothing but love, determination, and a resume that grew thinner every year. Aaron was not lazy, nor unskilled. He was simply unlucky in a world that rarely slowed down long enough to see effort over appearances. His mornings began before sunrise, packing lunches, tying shoelaces, and promising his daughter that things would get better, even on days when he barely believed it himself. The interview that day had felt like his last chance. The company was a massive technology firm, known for innovation and ruthless efficiency. Aaron had spent nights studying their systems, understanding their products, and preparing answers while his daughter slept beside him on a small mattress in their apartment. He arrived early, his shoes carefully cleaned, his hands slightly shaking not from fear, but from the weight of expectation. He knew what the panel saw when they looked at him: an older applicant, a gap in employment, a single father who might be distracted or unreliable. Their questions were sharp but their interest was dull, and within minutes, the room filled with an unspoken decision. As Aaron stood to leave, he noticed something small yet significant. On a large screen behind the panel, a complex data visualization flickered with subtle errors. The executives seemed unaware, but to Aaron, who had once worked as a systems analyst before life unraveled, the issue screamed for attention. He hesitated, knowing that speaking up could be seen as arrogance, yet staying silent felt like betraying the part of himself that still believed he had value. With nothing left to lose, he pointed it out calmly, explaining the flaw, the cause, and the fix in a matter of seconds, using simple logic that cut through years of overcomplication. What happened next was not applause or immediate redemption. It was silence. The kind of silence that arrives when reality collides with prejudice. The panel stared at the screen, then at each other, and finally at Aaron, who stood there unsure if he had just made things worse. He left the building without an answer, assuming that even solving a problem would not change a decision already made. Days passed with no call. Bills stacked up, groceries ran low, and Aaron learned how to stretch hope thinner than ever before. He took temporary work at night, delivering packages while his daughter slept at a neighbor's place. He never told her how close they were to losing their home. Instead, he smiled, helped with homework, and read bedtime stories with a voice steady enough to hide his fear. Each night, he replayed the interview in his mind, wondering if speaking up had been a mistake or the last honest thing he had done for himself. Inside the company, however, chaos had quietly begun. The problem Aaron had casually identified was not small. It was the core issue behind a failing system that had cost the company millions and threatened a major contract. Teams of highly paid experts had tried to fix it for years, burying the problem under layers of complexity. When they revisited the system with Aaron's explanation in mind, the solution suddenly appeared obvious. The CEO himself, a man known for sharp instincts but blinded by his own success, demanded to know who had pointed it out. When Aaron received the call, he nearly ignored it, assuming it was another rejection or spam. The voice on the other end was calm but urgent, requesting that he return to the office immediately. He arrived expecting formality, perhaps even suspicion, but instead found himself in a room filled with executives who now looked at him differently. Not as a burden, not as a risk, but as someone who saw what they had missed. The CEO acknowledged that the company had been searching for a solution for years and that Aaron had uncovered it in seconds because he understood fundamentals rather than trends. Aaron did not celebrate. He simply explained his thought process again, humbly, without pride. He spoke of systems the way he spoke of life, believing that most problems were not unsolvable, just misunderstood. By the end of the meeting, the offer was made, not as charity, but as recognition. A role tailored to his strengths, flexible hours to support his daughter, and a salary that would finally allow them to breathe. Yet the true transformation did not happen in that boardroom. It happened the evening Aaron picked up his daughter from school earlier than usual. It happened when he cooked dinner without checking prices first. It happened when he slept through the night without the familiar knot of fear tightening his chest. He told his daughter that things were going to be okay, and this time, the words felt real. As weeks turned into months, Aaron became known inside the company not just for his intelligence but for his empathy. He listened to junior employees, simplified processes, and reminded leadership that talent did not always come in polished packages. The CEO, humbled by the experience, began changing how the company hired, looking beyond gaps and titles to see potential. All of this because one single father refused to stay silent when he saw something broken. Aaron never forgot the rejection. He did not hold onto bitterness, but he held onto the lesson. That the world often overlooks quiet strength, that dignity does not always wear confidence, and that resilience is built in unseen moments. He volunteered to mentor others who had been pushed aside, sharing his story not as a miracle, but as proof that value exists even when it is not immediately recognized.